I feel like most people who vlog at least vlog with purpose. And so you're probably wondering, what is my purpose of starting a vlog? Like an actual about my life and events happening in my life vlog, especially after all these years when I've had not too much interest in that sort of thing. And I think that's a very, very fair question. Why don't we just hold on to that? Why don't I put a pin in it? And then I might maybe possibly answer that question at some point in the future. Until then, just at the top of my head, it might help if I break it down. If I start from the beginning and then maybe we can dismantle this thing together. So this is my last year of college, and even though my final year of college just started a couple weeks ago, that hasn't really stopped people from asking me the same question over and over, starting about 3-4 years ago. What are you going to do with your life? What do you want to do when you graduate? Whew. Whew. This conversation almost always goes the same way, which is asking me what I'm doing currently, and I'll reply that I'm in college. I'm becoming educated so that I may better serve my society as a well-oiled cog in the machine. Yes, you are welcome. That really impresses people. I'm in college, and I mean, they're not actually impressed, but they make this face like, oh my gosh. College, you say? Isn't that newfangled advanced school for smart kids? Well, boy howdy, that is impressive. It's not that I think they're being mean in their insincerity, it's just how else do you respond to that? Like, oh, I'm going to college. Oh, yeah, you and everybody else in their 20s. Like, if you reply that way, you're a jerk. So the next question is, what are you studying? And I reply, English. Now, this was a lot easier when I was studying secondary education, because people just knew from my answer that I wanted to be an educator of some sort, which made this next step exceptionally easier. Oh, so you're going to be a teacher? Yes. I started to run into problems when I switched my major from secondary education to English with an emphasis in literary studies. Because then the conversation went a little something like, oh, what do you study? Oh, I'm an English major with an emphasis in literary studies. Oh, so you're teaching? No. Oh. And as awkward as that is for me, I feel 10 times worse for the person who initiated the conversation. Because in their heads are like, English major, not teaching. Are there options? Are there options? What? She will be homeless? And that's the way I'm looked at. Not by everyone, but by enough people that I feel the need to comment on it. Like, I, for some reason, have made the decision to spend thousands of dollars on an education only to become ultimately homeless. They might not be wrong. What do I want to do with my English major? Once they gather their wits about them, they think of a better way to phrase the question. Rather than being like, I don't understand, so you don't want money, like, what are you doing? What is this? They go, oh, awesome. Well, what are you going to do with your English degree? I like your question. That's a good question. Well done, putting that question together. It's a good question. Good job on it. I don't know. I'm still figuring it out. Oh, I think I see somebody over there calling me. Hi. Yes, I'll talk to you later. Okay, bye. It's such an uncomfortable exchange. What happened to the noble cause of teaching? Well, I studied it for a long time and decided it wasn't for me, like an idiot. And now I'm left with a world of mystery. And now this is it. This is my last year of a schedule I've known since I was 5, of just getting up early and going to school. School has always been a part of my life, and this is the final year where that is a thing, unless I go back for my master's or a PhD or whatever, which is possible, yeah, in the future, the far off future. Spaceships and colonization in Mars and that way off, because I am exhausted, okay? School is exhausting. Whenever I have this conversation with other 20-some-odd old people, just, young people, they're very reassuring, and I appreciate it. I appreciate that you try very hard to make me not feel like a lost, sad creature. You're a very good person, and I see what you're doing, and I appreciate it. I respect it. It's just what any nice human being would do. Oh, Dude, whatever, we're all lost. I don't think anybody knows what they're doing with their life. I don't know what I'm doing with mine. I'm gonna graduate, I'm gonna go to grad school, and I'm gonna go do an internship for a couple of years. And then I was thinking of moving over to this state and starting at this company where I know a guy who knows a guy who works in this company, and he's pretty much told me that they hire around this time of year, which is great. So I've got everything put together for that. And then ultimately, it's so murky. I think I'm going to end up here at this other company, and I'm going to do this career for the rest of my life. But I mean, I don't really know. That is not knowing what to do with your life. That is the exact opposite of not knowing what to do with your life. I appreciate the lie, but I would actually probably feel better if you just outrightly told me I'm pathetic. So why am I doing these vlogs? I don't know, reassurance, peace of mind. I have just this horrible anxiety, and this doesn't help, and there's so much I think about this all the time. And when I wanted to review books, when I wanted to talk about movies, I came here. So I'm coming here again, and I think maybe something may come of it. What are the odds of that? Vlogs are tough. I did kind of dabble in personal vlogs when I studied abroad. Even then it was really tough. And besides which, I'm not even saying this to be humble. My life is not that interesting. I mean, I like it, which I think is all that matters. But, I mean, what do you think of a 22-year-old complaining and moaning about her scary, spooky graduating future? You might not think much of it, but I guess this is more therapeutic for me than for you, or maybe it is. Maybe I should feel good about this. Maybe I'm secretly helping people. That might be the thought that carries me through this thing. Otherwise, I don't even know how long this will go. I ideally would like to do vlogs for the entire year, but I might completely lose confidence by the second one, the third one. You can never tell with me. How much do I hate myself today is the question that'll produce the answer that'll either produce or not these vlogs. So let's break it down. If I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna break down my semester for you. I started with 5 classes, dropped 2 classes, added 2 classes, dropped a class. So now I'm with 4 classes. All English. All very difficult for me. If there's any classmates out there watching this, you're probably snorting at me oh, it's hard for you. Yes, because I'm good at English. Why did I choose this major? I'm good at it. I'm good at it. It's true. But it's not so much that I'm good at it that it is the thing I can do the best. And that's not saying much, because everything else I'm just horrible at. That's not very reassuring, Cassie. Yeah, you're telling me. I don't want you to think for 1 second that my major, that English and literary studies, isn't difficult for me, because it is. It's a ton of flippin' work, but it's really the only work I can actively learn from and somewhat get better at. So that's me right now. And I actually started, and the difference between my first day then and my first day my freshman year is just staggering. My first day, my freshman year, I took 2.5 hours to get ready. I made my hair all nice. I was playing Jonas Brothers songs in the bathroom, just bopping along, not a care in the world, having a good time, ready to create this massive social circle of good buddies. Now you fast forward to my final year. I woke up late, went to work in my yoga pants, which I slept in. I think I put on mascara in the parking lot. In my backpack was some shoes, fruit leathers, an old warm water bottle, and some receipts. I didn't even bring a notebook the first day. I didn't even have a pen. I'm not encouraging you to become this kind of creature, okay? Don't do this. I want you to be happy, Jonas Brothers, bop to the music, yeah, my life is full of infinite possibilities. I want you to feel that way forever. Somewhere along the line, though, I dropped most of that. But anyway, more about my major. I love it. I love it and I hate it. I hate English majors. I hate them and I am one. These people are so flippin' hard to get along with sometimes. And I'm sure that's myself included. I very much so doubt that I'm exempt from anything I'm about to say. Everybody is writing the next great American novel. They are aware that you are also trying to write the next great American novel, and theirs is better than yours. They refer to their novels in class, like actual legitimate examples for discussion. Do not do this. If you're looking for advice, if you're a peppy, happy-go-lucky freshman who was hoping to come to me for advice, I hope I can deliver in some way, to some extent. Do not do this. Do not do this, regardless of how wonderful your novel is or is going to be. It's tough because literature and writing is so massively interpretive that you get those people who incorrectly assume that their interpretation is so valid that it is the actual only capital I interpretation. And then they argue with the professor forever and ever and ever and ever. Also, do not do this. We're proud, stubborn, competitive, not humble. It comes with the trade. We read a lot, we know a lot of big words, sometimes we even know how to use them. And so we feel learned. Somehow we believe it gives us this kind of edge, and it's so stupid. I know deep in my heart that knowing 18th century British Restoration literature does not put me on a higher plane of intellectual existence above all the poor lesser creatures below me. But even so, I fall into this trap from time to time. So anyway, my first day rolls around, right? The parking lot and my work. I work first in the morning and then I go to school right after. Working on campus is wonderful. It's like taking the ring to Mordor. It's bumpy, or at least it feels that way. It takes 3 movies, and then I actually saw some familiar faces. You will see familiar faces that you're like really grateful. People who really add to the conversation and are super smart, and like you guys email each other about papers, and we're all in classes together, and you're just like, hey, I don't know your name, but we're friends. So this is good. I don't know, they might know my name. I'm a horrible person is the difference, so. But by my first class, the problem is I had just worked all morning and I am hungry. I'm hungry. First day was so hard. I was so hungry. By 3 p.m., I don't want to hear about your semiotics. I want Cheez-Its. A teacher called on me and asked me to say stuff about myself, and I all but snarled at him, and I feel a little bit bad about that. And then I found out how much my books were going to be. Cool. And then I ended my first day, and I decided on my way back to the car as I aged 30 years, maybe this semester wouldn't be so bad. I might even learn a few things. I have really good professors, and there's really no point in dwelling on the anxiety and the negative and the impending future, which I see equivalent to my imminent doom. Thinking about that, it's like, what's the point of this? I would much rather live in a fantasy world where all those things just aren't there. That, my friends, is how you put off anxiety until it becomes a panic attack. In case you were curious. So I've been talking a long time, and I feel like I'm coming off as more cynical than I actually am, or I'm coming off as cynical as I am, and that I'm just coming to the realization that I might be just a bit of a jerk. Maybe you can make me feel better about myself and assure me I'm not. Even if you're lying, that would be good to hear. I think I've started this because I think I just need to talk about it. This has been pent up in me for so long, and I think if I can use this to talk about my semester as it goes along, to get it out there, then I will not be allowed to push things into the back of my mind and pretend they don't exist. I will have to know that they are there, right there, staring me in the face, and that my problems are not so special and are not so bad, and I can face them, possibly. I'm a tough girl sometimes, I think. Maybe we can help each other out. Maybe this is the last time I will ever make this vlog. We'll see how I feel, later.